Just thinking about it gives me a chill. There were some cold nights on those streets. Yep, I was homeless. 45 years old with a little shopping cart. You know the kind like you take to the shopping mart. I figured it was better than one of those Safeway carts. That was a dead giveaway you were homeless. I used to keep my clothes folded nice and neat in it, as if I'd just come from the laundromat. I figured no one would be the wiser. I also had my cardboard in it. And it wasn't just any cardboard. I called it Cadillac cardboard. Altogether, it's two pieces. That's a box spring and a freaking mattress. It wasn't always like that for me, though. I was a hairdresser, a bartender, a DJ, an MC at a comedy club. I had a fiance, Richard. He was a happy-go-lucky guy. You're killing me, Smalls, but I still love your crazy ass. We loved to travel. We had a timeshare in Cabo. We had 30 grand in our savings, mutual funds, stocks. I owned my own car. Sounds great, right? Well, through it all, I suffered frightfully from bipolar manic depression, severe anxiety, and suicidal ideation. Drugs and alcohol utterly made it worse. I found myself creeping down a torturous, tangled, vicious cycle. In and out of mental institutions, friends and family began to distance themselves. My dad said that he expected the next phone call from Richard would be that I was dead. Your friends and family can't help you, and neither can I. I just can't do this anymore. I lost everything, including Richard. He left me after 20 years for someone else. I would have left me too. So I put myself in rehab, successfully completed a 90-day program, moved into a master bedroom with a patio and petunias. I met a guy, Spender. He's 6'2" with eyes of blue. And with a cheeky grin, he says he likes me. Irregardless, he came with drugs and alcohol. And I liked them. So I said adieu to my petunias, and I hit the road with Spender. We worked our way up from San Francisco to Monterey. And just in 6 months' time, I'm a junkie, sleeping in the alleyways, in the Mission District, slowing my highs and high-in my lows. But I do remember this one day. I'm standing in the alleyway with a couple OGs having a beer, had a cigarette in hand. Spender just went to score some dope. It's a beautiful day. The breeze is blowing. I've got my scarf wrapped around my neck like I'm motherfucking Audrey Hepburn. And two guys roll up and they say, "Hey, Ma, how you doing?" Well, there ain't no one else around here to be calling Ma, so I guess they're talking to me. Now, I'm so used to getting solicited for sex, I'm about to yell, "That ain't my get down, asshole." But before I can say anything, they scream out, "Hey, you look like you've had money." Well, you know I'm listening now because don't you know who I am? Of course I've had money. I don't belong out here. They gesture me over to the car. I bite. "Why don't you get in? We've got an opportunity." Well, I need money, so I get in the back seat. The passenger at the seat way back, and the driver with the seat all the way back, hand still on the steering wheel, long dreads, and an obvious partner in crime. The passenger had a fresh cut with his line done real neat. Fresh cut says his name is L, and the driver is Pac-Man. L asks if I know anything about this new banking system. Well, I've been on the streets for a minute. Game recognizes game. I know a little bit about it. L is a silver-tongued snake charmer, and I was the snake. And whilst in mid-trance, I loved his rehearsed spiel. He said they were going to Las Vegas. How about if we put you up in a hotel for the night? Wow, I thought. Bed, shower, toilet, soap. I'm game. Well, next morning they pick me up and off to get a passport photo of me. And then, after getting a few other people together and another car, we're off on the road that night to Las Vegas. I sleep the whole way. And when I wake up, there we were. We're in Las Vegas, baby. We stop at McDonald's. And for the first time in months, I'm able to use the bathroom without sneaking in. And most of my recent meals have been found on top of garbage cans. But today, I guess you could call this my happy meal. Then off to the hotel, well, Motel 6, that is, where I find myself bunking with 4 black guys and only 2 beds. This is awkward. Elle has a girl with him whose name is Dora. They get a room of their own, and I get the feeling she wants nothing to do with me. Pops, an OG for sure. He has a bum shoulder and a limp to go along with it. He hands me $11 for a tall boy and a pack of cigarettes. And so the routine begins. Day after day, promising me big money and drugs, and week after week, promising me we'd go home, and we don't. Pops is one who just decides to explain the banking game to me. He tells me, "You're going to be dancing in the honey holes." He says, "Dancing, be going into the banks and getting that money. And the honey hole be the banks." Now, Pops is the nicest to me, so he takes me out to get a new dress. I go in and they give me an ID. My picture's on it. It's me, but it isn't me. But it is me. Only the name has changed. They said all I had to do was remember a social security number, and the Macy's account was mine. 9 numbers. That doesn't seem too hard. It worked. I went in and bought myself a designer scoop neck black and teal summer dress. Next day, Els teaches me the banking system. So we go out all night, back and forth together at an exponential speed. Give them the deposit slip, give them the withdrawal slip, take the money, take the ID back, give them the social, give them the. It was just so much. But we finally figured out how to get this down, and we went to the bank the next day. They send me in with a seasoned veteran. Her name is Dora, again, Elle's girl, and she still, I don't think she wants me anywhere around her. So we walk into the bank, and she has an incredible confidence about her. She gets $5,000 cash in her hand in less than 5 minutes. I don't know why, but this is like a whole new drug to me. So, next stop, I'm up. We pull up to the bank. My adrenaline is rushing so hard, I can barely feel myself breathe. I've got so much to remember: money, deposit slips, social dates, births. My brain and my body just don't feel in sync right now. But I get up and I get out of the car and I walk into the bank. Oh, and one thing I forgot to tell you that Elle said and made very clear: if they ask you to have a seat, get out. The play's gone bad. So, ma'am, just what are you withdrawing $5,000 for today? Well, a new car? A truck? Why don't you have a seat? It's going to be just a minute. So, what did I do? But politely take a seat. Now Elle's blowing my phone up. I assure him that they're coming back with the ID any minute now. The bank manager and someone else are coming straight for me. Elle says, "Run." They chase me out of the bank. I see I see lights flashing, and I hear security truck alarm sounding, and I see lights flashing. And to this day, I don't know how I got across, but I ran across a 6-lane highway. As I'm maneuvering across the highway, Spender calls and says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Running for my life." I maneuvered across the highway a little bit more, ducked into a corner phone store where I became paralyzed. Elle calls and says, "Where are you? We got to pick you up." I'm across the street in the corner phone store. He tries to coax me out, but I see a fire truck, and for some reason, I think they're there for me. He assures me they're not. So I go and I get in the back seat. He tells me, "Did you get the ID back?" I said, "No." He said, "What did I tell you? Get down in the back seat and stay down till we get out of town. When I told you to get the ID back, I meant it. Now, you don't know how much money you cost us, and you ruined the play. The account is dead." I am sobbing in the back seat after about 10 minutes of this. Finally, Dora puts a halt to the attack. Elle, knock it off. It was her first time. You're such an asshole. Okay, look, Ma, I'm sorry. But when your first play goes bad, that's actually kind of a good thing, because then you'll know that look when they're on to you. At that moment, I knew I was officially inducted into the gang. They made me feel like I was part of something big. I had definitely been recruited now. And now we traveled like a family, staying in hotels, not on cardboard. I had gone from homeless to hotels and from alleyways to airplanes. And I was running my own show now, and I was playing the role of a lifetime. Sometimes when I play Olga, I'd fake a Russian accent, and I don't even know how to speak Russian. And then I was pulling out all the stops, from slings on my arm to vacations to Disneyland with Mary and buying cars with Betty. We were balling. We were drinking everything from Dom Perignon, Cristal, and only the best VSOP. And shopping from True Religion, Gucci, and Prada. We were doing the most. And we would also put on 2 Chainz, and I would try to dance, white girl style. And they would be my cheerleaders, cheering me on. Go, Mom. Go, Mom. Yep. Instead of Mom, they called me Mom now. I liked being called Mom. I didn't ever have any kids of my own, and I don't know why, but I tried. Maybe the drugs and the alcohol just messed up my system, but it felt great to be called Mom. And so now when I travel with Elle and they ask if we're traveling together, he says, "Yes, this is my mom and we're on vacation."